Welcome to another video. What we wanted to demonstrate in this video was a normal activity, in this case hiking, where something goes wrong. One of the boys is going to get injured, one of the other boys is going to render aid. In this case, we've used my sons in the video, and obviously they're the sons of a combat medic. They've had a lot of training, but they also know the value in being prepared, and they're going to be carrying the right tools in their hiking equipment to be able to react to the situation that's been presented to them. The other thing I think it's a good time or a good thing to point out that happens here is to introduce you to the R.A.C.E system. And the R.A.C.E system is a great system you can use to employ anytime there's been an emergency. And all you want to do with that is use the acronym R.A.C.E to talk you step by step through what to do. And what you'll see in this video is Beansy will employ all of the things in the R.A.C.E system. First, he's going to react. Right? We want to react to what's happened. There's been an emergency and he immediately takes action and he reacts. You're going to be better prepared to react if you think ahead of time about what might happen and you forge a plan in your mind. Right? React, and you're going to have a better chance of reacting thinking through your plan. In this case, Beansy doesn't deny that there's an emergency situation and he immediately takes action. The next step in reacting is activating the 911 system. If you realize there's been an emergency, you want to activate 911 and get that call out immediately. In this case, Beansy asks somebody else. He directly directs someone to call 911 and tell them that there's been an emergency. Do what you can to get first responders to your position as quickly as possible. The next step is the letter C, which is care. And in this instance, you're going to see Beansy provide care. And in care, we control bleeding, assess the airway, we check respirations, and then we prevent exposure. And now there's not really a reason in this video for him to do many of those things. There's a specific order that we want these things done, and that order is based on how common injuries happen and the order in which it would kill somebody. So if you think about traumatic injuries, more often than not, people bleed to death. And so we want you to start with controlling bleeding. And that's exactly what you're going to see Beansy do. And then the last thing he's going to do is evacuate, right? He's going to get the victim to 911 or get the injured person to 911 or get 911 to the victim or meet in the middle somewhere. Maybe it would make sense to drag him from the trailhead, if possible, down to the road or carry him or extricate him or evacuate him, knowing what his capability is and knowing what their plan is. So keep in mind, whenever there's an emergency, regardless of the situation, race to safety. So you can see the boys are out for a hike. They get into a scuffle, just like they always do, because they're boys, and one of them gets thrown down the hill. He's grabbing his leg, being heads down. Now he thinks maybe I'm in trouble. He realizes there's a problem. He's doing a pretty good technique of dragging Kevin up the hill. Now, obviously Kevin's smaller than him, so it's a little easier to move him, and Kevin's also scooching a little and helping him. And if you can get help from your victim, that's always a good thing to do. And now Bean's kind of revealing what the problem is, and you can see we've simulated this arterial bleed down on the lower portion of his leg. Beans immediately dropped his knee. Right, now Kevin's hand's in the way, so he's kind of wrestling with him, but he's dropping his knee, trying to locate the source of his femoral artery up above. And if you press on an artery that's above where an injury is, there's a chance you'll slow that bleeding down or stop it. And what he's doing now, he's trying to buy himself time, slow down the bleeding, while he's accessing a tourniquet that's in his bag.
Try to put a tourniquet.
And he's verbalizing to their other friend that's with him to go ahead and call 911. So he's doing a great job, right? He's reacted to the situation, he's activated the 911 system, and now he's decided he's going to go ahead and put a cat tourniquet on the leg, right? And the point here is to emphasize that tourniquets are safe. You've got significant life-threatening bleeding. It makes way more sense to stop this thing with a tourniquet than it does to apply pressure and pack it and bandage it or put a towel on it and hope that for the best, right? Put a tourniquet on nice and high, nice and tight. You can see he's chosen to put it all the way up at the top. Now, chances are the only injury he's got on his leg is down below, but he's not taking the time out here to expose and look and see where the other injuries are, and he's making sure he doesn't miss any injuries. If he puts the tourniquet too low, there might be injuries above it. The vessel might retract up. So he's chosen to put a cat tourniquet on. He's made it really tight, and the key to this tourniquet is making sure it's super tight before you start twisting that windlass. Right, he's doing a really good job now of going back. He looked at the injury and he realized that bleeding wasn't controlled, so he made the tourniquet even tighter. He put another half a twist in it. Now he's reassessing. He sees that he's got hemorrhage control. He stopped the bleeding. He's locking that windlass in by controlling the gate, and he's reassessing the wound. So he's making sure that the solution that he's instituted has solved the problem, and he does a great job here. He's going to reach in the bag. What he wants to do is mark down the time that the tourniquet was applied. That's an important thing for those of us in hospitals that have to remove tourniquets. He verifies that 911's been notified, and then you'll see him put his hands on and just make sure that he's not bleeding anywhere else. So fortune favors the prepared. They've done a great job. They had the right tools for the job.